I'm not witnessing a fight right now.
It feels like it's been a week. So much has happened since I have last sat in this chair. It is Christmas Eve. Santa has stopped. For some of you, for others, he has not. And then for another, set of you, it's a big surprise. The reality of Santa will eventually dawn upon you. Dr. Abby in studio. Christmas time is here. Richard Sarvate to my right. And I am your host, Brian Moreno. Thank you for joining us Christmas Eve. This is our news show. This is the last week we determined I couldn't call it the no spin zone. I couldn't call this hardball with Chris Matthews.
Could be softball.
I couldn't call this Anderson Cooper 360. We're still searching for a good name. Feels like a lot of the good names have been taken. But we are here. We tried to do a remote show in Vegas. We did. We tried our best and it failed. But see, I don't talk sports on this show because what I've learned is the true fans of the news show don't really like the sports show. So that being said, I don't talk much sports on this show, but so much I'm going to have to do maybe just a standalone opinion show about. So much drama has happened in the world over the last week, some sports related, and I'll say it, we also didn't do the show because I sprained the shit out of my ankle, which, it doesn't, when it comes to being the media mogul that I have become, it's a lot of pressure that I haven't expected, and I think the weight of the world caused me to roll my ankle.
That's one theory.
Well, Richard Sarvate, it is Christmas, and I am Santa, so here is one of your presents, a screaming goat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it does require batteries, which I believe I have, unless they...
Is it a 9-volt? Because
yes, Dr. Abby got a tube guy for her desk.
But I do not have a 9-volt
her
battery.
Doctor's
handy.
desk. So that I may not have the required battery for that.
Well, that's
but
fine.
Either way.
But I do want to say thank you. Inside, I do feel like a screaming goat.
And outside.
And I believe this is
both sides.
Well, I felt like it spoke to you.
And I got gifts for both of you.
No, you absolutely. Dr. Abby, just the fact that you bring us some sanity into this.
And sparkle.
Into this world. That's very, and is this custom made or what am I looking at?
Sort of custom made. It's made by Netflix. This is actually a Stranger Things themed Christmas sweater that says "Deck the Hawkins." Hawkins being where
Hawkins High.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And there's a tiger with a Santa hat. So.
Now, are you familiar with Stranger Things, Richard Sarvate?
I watched the first episode. I know it's a bunch of kids. They run a lot.
They ride bikes.
It sounds like a track and field show if you describe it that way.
Yes.
Set in high school, a lot of athletics.
Not quite accurate.
Yeah, I don't know if this was the right show. Now, okay, deck the halls, Hawkins High. Now, is this, being that Christmas is not something you celebrate, is this your only Christmas sweater?
This is not my sweater.
Oh, it's not even yours. No.
This is borrowed.
So you don't have any Christmas sweaters.
That's correct. I have a Hanukkah sweater that has a llama on it, and it says Happy Lamaka. But Hanukkah's over, so I thought this one would be more timely.
Wow. No, it's very nice. Let's get the mic a little more. Yeah. There you go. Just slightly.
I was just trying to show off my sparkle.
Well, no, it's very it's very nice.
Thank you. I think I'm going to turn it off so I don't wear off the battery, though. For
someone
else's
Now,
sweater.
what type of battery does that take?
I think a watch battery goes in here.
Very thin.
Yeah.
I was hoping it could power my screaming goat.
Yeah, well, maybe if we ask our technical director to jerry rig it, maybe.
And this was actually the gift from Dr. Sarvate to my right.
Yes.
This is Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. As you can tell, single malt. By the way, I'm talking. I've already partook a little bit of it, and I've noticed. Now that I have started, that, one or two drinks, it's fine. But if I ever do get a little loosey-goosey, it's with my speech, it's usually because of, I think, alcohol.
That makes sense.
I can enunciate quite well, but there are times when I've caught myself
slurry guy.
Not taking a breath. But also.
But not like Jim Cramer on Mad Money, because he does not breathe ever.
No.
I have noticed.
Not like Jim Cramer, but he's also been on TV for 25 odd years. Like if I could ever have a show that would run that long, I mean, that is quite.
Hey, nothing to say the Brian Moreno Show won't run for 25 years.
Yeah, don't sell yourself short.
Well, no, but it's a long way to go. Like, I would be extremely grateful. That's a long way to go. Do you know the effort it took for me to fire it up today?
Well, as long as you get one episode out a year, that's still
Counts.
No, and ongoing.
I have to do. I got to do recaps. Like a recap of the year, something we have to do. We have to do some type of list episode. I'm going to be better on getting clips out this next year. As much as this year brought so much pain and a lot of change. I am grateful every day just to be alive. I really am, because life is a gift. I'm very grateful, and I am very grateful that I was pushed to at least do this, because I believe some good can be achieved from the no spin zone.
Maybe it should just be the spin zone.
Oh yeah, maybe this should. That's good. No, that's. See, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting to a usable title, though. The spin zone.
How about the spin area?
Yeah, the spin area.
51.
Yeah,
I like that.
Not
Studio 51, the spin area.
Yeah.
This is a brain trust right here.
The spin area. I like, and this is Christmas Eve. Happy holidays. Happy Merry Christmas to all of you. Please, no one should be offended. Now, as a Jew, and I wouldn't say
that's how I love to start a
wouldn't
sentence.
say you're Jewish. I would say you're Jew. Right?
I'm quite Jewish.
There's no Jew. There's no ish.
Yeah.
Ish implies like ballpark.
I am a proud female Jew. Jewess.
Okay. Sure. However you'd like to put, like, all of these gets to the question. Do you ever get offended by Merry Christmas?
No,
And
I say Merry Christmas to people at work all the time.
what about as a youthful Jew?
No, never offended me.
Because I think Merry Christmas is an extremely nice.
It sounds nice. It's jolly. I think people who get mad about someone saying happy holidays, that's just silly, Because it's like, if it's around the season, you can say there's plenty of holidays. If it's on Christmas, sure, say Merry Christmas. But otherwise, like, what are you whining about? There's no.
Well, it's
war on
Christmas Eve. What?
Yeah, so
no,
Merry
Richard
Christmas. I'm wearing
Sarvate,
my Christmas sweater.
I would say you're Hindish.
I'm Hindish. Yeah.
Sure. Now, Are you offended in any way by Merry Christmas?
No, I'm offended by Happy Holidays.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I am too. Well, I am too because it's such like a dumpy throw at the salutation. Like such a
Why?
dumpy. Happy Holidays?
Yeah, what's wrong with it? It has an alliteration. It's
No,
inclusive.
Get. So you're saying you're such a bad guesser that you won't even guess what holiday that I might. So why don't you just go Merry Christmas, and if that offends someone, then you got a discussion. Then you've
I don't
sparked-
have time for
yeah.
discussion.
Hell yeah,
I'm
you're-
a busy woman.
You're not black. You're not wearing Star David. Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
But not all black people celebrate Kwanzaa.
or brown. He looks like he could be Hindish, which obviously is not Merry Christmas.
You can say Happy Diwali to
Plenty
me.
of Indian
Happy
people
to-
celebrate Christmas. Y'all are crazy.
Well, plenty of people all over the world celebrate Christmas because
Exactly.
it's
So
nice.
you can't judge.
And it's been marketed so well.
Yeah, it has been marketed really well.
It-
I remember as a child being very jealous.
That's the thing. And I thought Jewish people were supposed to be good at marketing, but somehow.
Well, we
Merry
probably
Christmas.
marketed it well, but we didn't enjoy it properly.
That's true. It's like all these Jewish
No.
people are like not having that much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it's very well known to the Jew community.
Fun is not allowed.
Not the Jewish, the Jews, the actual Jew community. That Santa is the biggest crock of shit, and they have been totally just outmarketed.
Yeah, I mean, I
And this-
heard Fauci saying that he went up to the North Pole and
Sure.
vaccinated Santa, and I was
Yeah,
like, "Why are you lying to these kids?"
Yeah, like like the Jews just can't get a break on hench
Yeah,
to mensch.
like-
Why can't Fauci be
Okay,
like
mensch on the bench, number one. And that was a Shark Tank product, so good
Why
for them.
can't Fauci vaccinate mensch?
Maybe he did.
And didn't bring it up. That got cut out
Yeah,
of the
because you know
interview.
why we didn't care to ask? Because we know mensch can fend for himself.
Well, if I were a Jew reporter, even a Jewish reporter, I would, Dr. Fauci, what about
The
what
mensch on the
about
bench.
the mensch on the bench, right?
Yeah.
Like, if Santa's getting, right? Just because Hanukkah's over,
Yeah,
right?
well,
is that why? Is because he feels like the mensch has less to do
I
right
think
now?
he knows that the Jewish children don't think in terms of that nonsense. They're too smart for that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? This is news to me.
Well, why don't you open your gift?
Well, hold on. I'm examining. Okay, now I was given. Doctor, can you tell me what I was given? This
I think it's cotton candy crickets.
is roasted cricket snack.
It's a good protein
Crickets
source.
snack. Good for the planet and good for you. Check it out, Dr. Sarvate.
I will check. What am I the doctor of?
Well,
Hindish.
yeah, Hindish, the
I
Hindish
studied
religion. I
Hindish
thought
all
you
my
had.
life.
I thought you had a PhD in Hindish studies. Now, this is also a Trader Joe's handmade candy cane
With chocolate.
cocoa. Wow, this is. See, if you like candy canes and peppermint, I would say this might strike, tickle your fancy,
Uh-huh.
if you will.
Yeah.
I don't mind any of these flavors, but I don't like any of them enough. I mean, I like chocolate, but I like to know where my chocolate came from. I'm a little bit of a chocolate snob these days. Like, I can no longer partake in.
Did
Like
you try a cricket?
peanut
I
M-
haven't tried one yet.
Yeah. Did you smell them?
Yeah, you
smelled
look
it.
like you snorted.
I smelled it.
Because it's kind of a powder substance
Yeah.
in there.
It looks like dead bugs.
It
I
is
mean,
dead bugs. That's exactly
It
what
looks-
it is.
Like
So this is roasted crickets, Ento Life Kick. Now, where did this come from, Doctor?
I re-gifted. This was gifted to me.
Okay.
oh, was this a white elephant?
Okay, so
No,
I'm
this
going
was
to
just
try.
handed
I'm
straight
going to
to
try.
me. Oh, you are? Oh!
Ever since these are like, it tastes like what you would expect it to taste. It tastes like
Bugs.
no. Like if you just tore a little piece of what's the seaweed paper?
Oh, nori.
The seaweed kind of paper. Yeah, if you just tore a little piece off and tried to act like it
So you
wasn't
want to
a
make
bug.
sushi with it?
No, I don't. I had one of them, and I'm gonna have to not think about it.
Well, you are braver than I, so I commend you.
Well, doctor, I have to say, I don't know if it took bravery to eat that, but
Well, I think this is the kind of gift that like bougie white people would enjoy. Like, look, it's like roasted crickets, you know?
no, I mean that's a nice thing to give to someone that you don't really like, but you need a gift. You like give it to Jacob. You heard him how much shit he's been talking.
I hate Jacob.
Now hold on. We all just ate off delicious Traeger. I'm yet to do a meat episode, and I'm yet to fully plug them, but they are one of the sponsors of the show. I smoked my first chicken, some delicious tilapia, and T-bone. Now I have to say, I would have never gone out and got a Traeger unless the opportunity came to me. And I have to say, anyone who is on like the fence, now that you're spending more time at home, pandemic, if you're on the fence about getting a grill, step up, get a Traeger. What it has done for the food game in Studio 51 has really stepped it up. And I think everyone here can vouch for that. Have Merry Christmas and thank you, people at Traeger. Now, this is a news show, but this is also a personal interest show. So before the news, I just want to
our news.
Yeah, well, this is news. This is news that you probably didn't hear about. This is news that you deserve to hear about. But this is also opinion and levity and the spin zone.
The spin place.
No, but I also want to say thank you for the people who do watch and the people I can see where you pick up and you come back to it and you do pay attention, and I hope that we can get better known, and I hope that we can get better in the next year. I know that that it takes a lot of work, and I'm very thankful this Christmas, and I know that's more of a Thanksgiving thing, but no, Christmas time, I suppose, is it means something because of the new year also, so it's a little more reflective than, for me, Thanksgiving, especially because I have so many American Indian friends. I find it hard to celebrate Thanksgiving like the rest of you. Doctor, on that note,
Okay.
I will say, thank you once again, Doctor and Richard, for being a part of this journey.
Thank you.
And Doctor, what do you got for us today?
Okay, a new friend of the show, Michigan man,
Oh, yes, Michigan.
sued
man.
his parents for destroying his, quote, massive pornography stash, and a judge ruled recently that the parents have to pay him back for it.
Okay,
Hell
now
yeah.
hold on, Doctor.
This is heartwarming.
Let's
A Merry Christmas for
Finally,
this family.
a good story. All right.
yeah,
great.
let's slide. Let's not.
Oh, we're gonna
browse over
slide
this.
in.
Yeah, let's not browse over some of this. Okay, he's a 42-year-old son.
Okay.
He got divorced and moved back in with them,
Yes.
bringing his large collection of pornographic material.
Yes. Okay, which is your property.
So these were DVDs or Blu-rays.
They look like VHS from the picture.
Well, the
Really?
picture,
Yeah.
well, the thing is, that picture's a little suggestive because they put a porn star and then a picture of these porn boxes. I don't like that because you don't know if that's real evidence.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I thought you were a big fan of the smoking gun.
And I do, but that's a little bit like they're acting like this guy never stepped up into Blu-ray, into virtual reality. So you don't know because
maybe some Betamax.
Because this is what it's saying: 12 boxes and sex toys worth about $25K. Now.
25. How much porn can you have?
It's a large collection.
What do you think the word large means?
I think they said massive.
Okay, but I like this right here on the screen. You can see item 1489, ejaculating Lesbos disc 3. Item 1490, ejaculating Lesbos disc 4.
Oh shit!
I like 1492.
There is no disc in this photo. Okay, that's why I feel like there's a little bit misleading. Do you see?
Incongruous.
This is where Brian math came into play, and I'm like, it's a good story.
Yeah, but $25,000.
Wait, they have the inventory here. 428 VHS tapes. 1,600 DVDs.
That's
1,600.
Even for someone who remember Columbia House.
Yeah,
you could send. I think I got my ass whooped because of Columbia House.
But this guy is like a collector of pornography. That's amazing. Like I don't think he's into it for the porn. I think he just like wants rare editions. You know?
Yeah, he had a $300 stone dildo.
My goodness.
And I can tell you from experience with stone, it is not forgiving.
Oh
I have to tell you.
I do not want to know the details.
No, just in general. Just any stonework. I used to be in the masonry.
I mean, do you remember the scene from Clockwork Orange where the guys, they basically rape the wife with the stone dildo? I mean, that's kind of what it makes me think of.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had tried to block that out.
Yeah, I think I did too.
Well, this is fresh in your mind now.
No, this is okay. I find it amazing that this guy went to court. Okay, you have to not only love your collection, you have to not give a fuck about what anyone says about you.
This is a confident man.
About your friends, your friends, like you have to be, have to really be in a bad place, I think, to sue your parents for $25K in a porn club. Like, I don't think if his wife would have stayed with him, maybe she left him because he spent so much time at the porn collection.
Did we confirm that he's divorced?
Yeah,
well, that was in the story.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I think the divorce might have driven him to the things that make him the happiest.
Like his porn.
Like his porn collection. And here comes mom and dad.
Parents just don't understand.
No, I mean, if he moved out and left it there, and that's when they destroyed it.
Yeah, well, here come mom. Well,
I'm just poking holes.
Okay. I had a baseball card collection that when my mother moved, the movers stole.
Ugh.
Okay.
So she says.
No.
My grandmother threw out.
No. Trust me, they were. I know.
They were
in nice. No, they were in nice cases.
Dude, my dad threw out my Magic the Gathering collection.
Now these were in nice cases. I bet I can't believe the gall on their parents to not. Did they even give him a warning? That's why they have to pay him back.
Don't most mothers call you like, do you want this blanket? It's been here
not
for a
when
while.
it's the porn collection.
Yeah,
They're just like burn it.
And what did it need to make space for? Like
porn collection.
Well, hey, this is a lot of. This is $25,000 worth of porn. Okay, this is like a garage. You know, like they're like, listen, we would like to have a guest room.
And see, this is a recent story, and God, what a ruling for the holidays. What a Christmas this must be at this household.
It's like a reverse Christmas, dude.
When your son sues you and the ruling gets laid down that you got to pay him back $25K for the porn you tossed. Because I don't know about, my mom would be pissed if she had to pay me for the porn that she threw out.
And I would stand by you if you were to sue your mother for.
And you know, now that Pornhub and all them wiped all this old stuff out, like he's not finding this online. This guy's got a real strong argument though now.
Absolutely. He didn't make any backups.
He must rebuild.
I don't know if that's even possible.
I don't think you can find ejaculating lesbos these days.
Yeah, like there's
not disc 3.
Maybe disc 7
1
or 9.
and 2.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah. Do you have any idea how difficult it was to find 3 and 4 when it was new? Jesus. God, doctor, what do you got?
Okay. So staying on the sex theme, a LA County Sheriff's deputy was caught having sex with an open mic to the dispatcher at Universal Studios in the parking area near the Bates Motel. And the dispatcher tried to alert him that he had an open mic, and TMZ got audio.
Yeah, so I'm going to get this.
Some of the activity that was caught.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hold on. Here we go.
I'm curious.
Okay.
She seems pleased, I'll say.
Yo, but this is like, the cops just can't get a win right now. Like, here we go.
I mean,
here we go.
They could be a little more careful.
Okay.
We need like an ad bypass for the Brian Moreno Show. You know?
The ad is playing on top of it. There we go.
There we go.
Wait, now.
Seems like, yeah, he's doing a good job.
She's enjoying herself.
And
Wait, who said that about the open mic?
The dispatcher.
Oh.
She's like, your mic is on. That's what she's...
95 Ocean open mic.
Yeah, so 95 Ocean is now infamous.
wow.
Hilarious.
Well, now.
She's so distressed.
Oh
and
my.
Like, and then he like fumbles around and hangs up, and he has been dismissed.
Wow. This is
pending investigation.
LAPD, correct?
Yeah. Well, LA, because there's
Or sheriff.
LAPD and then there's the
LA
sheriff.
County Sheriff.
So
There's
this is
LA
the county
County
sheriff's
Sheriff.
deputy.
And they were staying in this little dumpy motel right here in the parking lot.
No, that's the Bates Motel at Universal Studios.
Isn't that where they were sitting, that little dumpy lot?
Yeah, but that's like the Psycho Motel.
Oh, it's not
It's
even
a model.
It's not even a real.
No,
They were fucking
in
inside the fake
Universal
motel.
Studio.
On Universal Studios lot.
Yeah.
So he was probably knew an employee. Pick him up.
Yeah.
Let's roll out.
Yeah. We'll have a little fun times.
And then.
Well, I hope they were role playing where he was the son and she was the crazy mother.
I do hope so too.
Now I don't know what you have to do to be a police officer anymore. Like, I don't know what the criteria are
Not very much.
to be a police officer, but I also don't know like how their days are structured. But when I used to work at places that didn't require a lot, we would do like 8-hour days, 15-minute breaks, 30-minute breaks. Maybe he was on a break.
I mean, I think whether or not you shouldn't be doing it in or around your, official vehicle.
Your place of employment.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but long shifts.
Yeah, everybody needs a break.
You know, it's like it seems to me that he didn't, you know, there's nothing nefarious going on. It wasn't like, I'm going to get you out of this ticket. Let's go to the Bates Motel.
Well, maybe it was.
Well, see, if it was, then
I think that's why it's all pending investigation.
But like if you're on break time,
yeah.
what if it's after your shift and you're just still in the car? You haven't got time to change it.
That's what it all has to be investigated.
Like, do you
we'll
know
just have
how
to
many
do a
times?
follow-up.
Like I worked at Red Lobster as a youth. It didn't take much to get the job. Same education level as some of, you know, and some of these police officers, and we had breaks. And I did a few things in that parking lot that I'm not proud of.
I believe it.
During work shifts.
None of this is surprising.
Okay, do you understand? Like, yeah, like I hosted, I cooked, I made the biscuits, I did everything in there.
You own that Red Lobster.
No, it's not even there anymore.
I've never been to Red Lobster.
Oh my God.
The biscuits are delicious. I would not. I don't know if the seafood is actually the seafood it says it is, but it's. So I'm just saying that sometimes when you're working a double, you need, and there's a hostess that's
ready to go.
You go, no matter how bad you smell. No matter how many hours you've been working, like you are.
At a certain point, when you've been around those biscuits for several hours, everything just smells like biscuits, you know?
It does. You would actually have a layer on your skin of biscuit.
I got to try these biscuits.
We had them on, I remember we had them on Thanksgiving.
Yes, I get the they actually sell on Amazon fresh. You can buy Red Lobster biscuits.
I don't remember these.
I think I have a box of.
Yeah. I just feel awful for the woman that was just like 95 Ocean.
Well, how do you know the woman wasn't? Oh, the dispatcher. I was going to say, how do you know that it's not a woman, the cop?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Because it could be.
No, the woman was having, I don't feel bad for her.
She was having a great
time. That did not
Yeah.
sound like lesbian. That sounded like.
It could be a female
woman.
cop and a man.
Oh, like she was getting pleasured. 95 Ocean.
Yeah. We don't know which person is which.
Gotcha. We don't. See, this is the hard-hitting news. I can't imagine why anyone would watch this show and go to any other news outlet. I can't. Doctor, what do you got?
Okay, federal authorities have broken up a massive drug trafficking ring that worked out of fraternity houses in North Carolina at UNC Chapel Hill, Duke, and Appalachian State University. And this is not just a bunch of kids smoking weed. This is kilos of cocaine, hundreds of pounds of marijuana, narcotics, Xanax, MDMA, you name it, they had it and they trafficked it. And 21 of them are going to burn.
So now, how did they get busted?
The feds have been investigating them since 2018, and I think they noticed that they were getting supplies shipped in from a guy in California who I think has already been indicted or convicted, and he was sending in 200 pounds of marijuana, 2 kilos of cocaine on a weekly basis.
Wow.
And he pled guilty to charges in November, sentenced to 73 months in jail. But now they are targeting all the college kids who are involved. The youngest one is 21. 13 of them are younger than 24.
Man, like these kids, like they were doing it big though. They were making millions.
Yeah, I think they made $1.5 million.
I mean, that's what they say.
Which seems low to me. I feel like
and they say they were passing all this money through Venmo and PayPal and stuff. And it's like, I want to know more about this story just because they were doing it big. Like these kids were doing it big.
Someone needs to make a movie out of this.
Well, and I just wonder if it started small or they just, or one of them's like older brother is like, fuck, I'm gonna get you 200 keys. Like, cause I don't know how different, like, cause you get this stuff on college campus, it's gonna sell itself. I don't know how difficult it was for them to get as much as they did there. And it's unbelievable when you read this story. But the thing is, they say they were, for as long as they were investigating them, they were investigating for
2 years since 2018. So it's actually the feds which have recorded $1.5 million in sales. So that's just the only things that they caught on to. So much more than that.
Yeah, and it's like they're all basically from the same fraternity.
South Carolina?
11
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. But I got to tell you, it's like, I don't know what college would be like right now. And like, I don't know what it would be like, say, you're paying all this money to go to North Carolina, and then you got to take Zoom classes. Like, you can't even go.
So you think things like this are going to get worse?
No. My point is, I can't imagine what it would be like to go to college, have to take a Zoom class that you never weren't supposed to take with no social interaction, and then no drugs. And no weed, no Xanax, whatever they were getting.
Oh, so you're saying they cut their supply?
Yeah, well, there's going to be some people
and now people are going to riot in the streets.
There are going to be some people who went from super chill to super pissed off, okay? Like, with no other outlets. Like, Emmanuel Ochoa was their only hookup, whatever his name was, okay? This guy, from Duke and whatever. Like, there are people who are like, I'm only able to do this because of the weed and Xanax that I get.
I feel like Adderall is the main college drug. You know what I mean? And that was my college drug.
Javier Ochoa, Francisco Javier Ochoa, primary supplier. Why?
Well, I hope these were economic students that were getting all these drugs.
200 pounds of marijuana, 2 keys of coke.
On every week.
Every week. You understand how many people aren't going to have marijuana for...
Yeah, because marijuana is not legal at all, I think, medicinally or recreationally in North Carolina.
No. Like, I don't believe at all. So,
yeah.
So, like, and these people are going to do, don't get me wrong, the hard drugs that they're selling, you got to do a hard time. But, like that 200 pounds of marijuana, in some of those states, they still look at it like it is the devil, like the devil.
They're stuck in the 70s.
And here that we just throw it in the streets.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, it's,
I have so much. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it's coming out your ears.
But it's crazy. Like they were getting a human growth hormone, like HGH.
Yeah, it was
like
crazy.
This guy was there used to be back in 20, 30 years ago, there was a famous drug dealer around Los Angeles. They called him One Stop.
Because he had everything.
One Stop. Because whatever,
whatever
and
you
no
want.
one ever met One Stop. He would just have women deliver things. And it was all, nobody really knows. Like, I didn't know.
I think it was
I don't know. But, this guy was, One Stop. This guy, when you read, I mean, and this guy's going to do.
He's got everything. Horse tranquilizers.
But he said, what, how many months? 72 months?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's 6 years. I mean, that's a long time. And this is all federal time. So you're doing every day.
Well, maybe they can get their pardon in.
Next week. I mean, Trump only pardons his friends. Unless he knows Javier. Unless he knows Javier
Make some phone
Ochoa.
calls, guys. Get in line.
I didn't even realize it's only one more week of Trump. Isn't that crazy?
No, I think it's
month.
a little less than a month. I think it's 25 days.
Wow, that's so interesting. I never actually believed this day would arrive.
It hasn't yet, so
Well,
don't count your chickens.
well, I still feel bad for the kids in North Carolina because of COVID, because of this fucking guy
Yeah,
getting
because
busted.
their wee guy got busted. That sucks.
I mean, do you understand? Like in college, the things that some of these college kids have to do just to get a bag of weed, you don't need them doing that. Just go study. There should be a dispensary. Want to go like just
in the quad.
right? Yeah, man. You don't need to be driving into the hood and
Yeah, that's good studying time.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, man. Like done. Like that's makes a shitty year even worse. What you got, Doc?
Speaking of stressed out students, West Point has had its biggest cheating scandal in 45 years come out this year because they're accusing 70 cadets of cheating on a calculus exam.
Yeah.
And I think it was an at-home situation, and they had an honor code that these first-year students were like, whatever.
Idiots. Fucking idiots.
Yeah, and West Point does not take lightly to cheating, apparently.
I love calculus. I never cheated a day. I thought it was so interesting.
I thought my parents are both mathematicians, and I felt a lot of pressure to be good at math, and I wasn't. And so I could understand the frustration with calculus.
I just thought it was such a beautiful fucking
Yeah,
approach to
I was
math.
not.
Okay,
on
well,
board
this is
with
the
that.
thing. Okay, West Point has had one other cheating scandal in 1976, where 153 cadets got expelled, and that's a long time. Now, I don't exactly know. I know one person who's been caught like red-handed cheating, like red-handed at school. Went on his permanent record, whatever that means, for cheating. I have seen. Look, I've seen some egregious things when it came to cheating, and it really pissed me off as a student who for the most part, I never really did. You know, but I saw some and.
But you were smart.
But listen, it matters when things are graded on a curve, okay?
Sure.
It matters
Sure.
big fucking time.
Yes, it
okay?
does.
And that kind of stuff would really get me mad. Like, it would infuriate me. You know, because you're going up against competition and being unfairly graded that way. Now, I look at this situation. What these kids had to do just to get into West Point, you know, it's a lot. You know, like you got to get recommendations from your senator, congressman, all kinds like shit like that. Like just to get into West Point takes a lot. Mm-hmm. Now, yes, they will have a leg up, and yes, they are supposed to. Yes, they're supposed to show their work on calculus. You know, that being said, I don't know if the education that they're getting right now is the same as these dumpy kids in North Carolina, you know, that with no drugs, like, because it's like cheating happens all the time. And yeah, they shouldn't have done it. Yeah, they shouldn't have done it, but if you're giving them these online classes and the answers are that like readily the kids are going to cheat all the time.
Well, now that I think about it, how can you stop cheating online? Like if you're doing a test online.
Well, I'm sure.
Well, that's the thing. They have an honor code. And so they were like, we have our honor code in exam, so we're just going to keep the same honor code at home. And they were like, nobody's looking.
That's like saying cross my heart and hope to die.
Yeah,
you know?
whatever.
I don't blame some of these kids because it's like the education that they're getting is so
flimsy.
Well, it's so shitty compared to what it should be. They look, these kids signed up for West Point. They want structure. And they want people.
That is true.
They want people looking over them, and they want this disciplined education and value system. They signed up for it. They had to go out of their way to get into this school, and then now you're like, take a Zoom class at the University of Phoenix.
I mean,
don't cheat.
As someone
Fuck
who
you.
needs structure, I understand that frustration because I do so much better when I have somewhere to be at a certain time. And when I'm left to my own devices, it's like couch and snacks.
Yeah, so that's why I don't necessarily. Then I did get mad right there, but I saw this a few different ways. This story, and it tied into the look. These kids in North Carolina, they were about to get a really cool education, but now they are University of Phoenix extension. No drugs.
I feel like all.
No drugs.
I think all colleges are University of Phoenix at this point, right?
Yeah,
Extension with drugs.
Yeah, but most of them didn't have their drug dealers get busted by the FBI. Right?
Oh,
and then the thing is at West Point, it's like I don't even know if they're on campus. I don't know if it's all remote learning. If these kids are just in these, because these dorms at West Point, I mean, they're got to be smaller and tighter quarters than I'd say a lot of these college campus ones. And so these kids, of course, all the answers are just getting passed over each other.
This is truly the saddest thing. The point of being in dorms in college is to have sex with other people.
Well, yeah, no. When military people have sex, it seems to just be forced.
Yeah, I mean, it's all missionary position.
The Fort Bragg stuff, it's really terrible. If you read any of this stuff down in Texas, there's a huge subculture that lives within some of the military ranks that definitely needs to be expunged.
Which they're trying.
Well, it seems that they're trying. I hope so. I mean, I believe as much as I am a comedian and a realist, I love America, and I am a proud American, supporter of the military and police, and no, I genuinely am, and that's why it's like as much as I talk about this stuff, I want things to get better, and that's why talking about them is the only way to actually get things better.
I agree.
You know, like you sweeping stuff under the rug and not talking about it, that don't make nothing better. What you got next, Doctor?
Okay, the CDC.
Yes.
Apparently, every year releases their top health stories of the year, and their choices this year came a little surprising as the number one spot. And these are stories that they put out themselves, so they rank their own as like a best of. And the number one spot went to a story about mosquitoes.
Oh, okay.
And it's like,
good to know.
Is that the biggest health story?
Well, no, it's a little bit of a tone.
I mean, what else happened? You know, I mean,
I don't know. It's been a sleepy one at the CDC. I think they know that it's not their shining moment, and so they tried to under the rug it a little bit because COVID didn't even come in at number 2; it was number 3.
Well, now see that's the thing. I feel like someone at the CDC has to be like, this is our chance to talk about a few other topics. Let's throw.
Well, I think they're saying this is what we did right this year was mosquitoes.
well, hey, here's
Because they know how undermined they were and how compromised all the politics made everything at the CDC. And so they didn't do COVID right, and they know it. And like as a physician and knowing people who've trained in the CDC, I know how miserable so many of them must have been at the things that had to happen because of Trump in the White House.
Wow.
Well, here's what I want to say is that I haven't seen many mosquitoes this year. So
good job.
Yeah, great job, CDC. Thank you for handling the mosquito problem. I really appreciate everything you do.
Now, what did they do right about mosquitoes, Doctor? Could
So the story was bringing attention to a species of mosquito that spreads malaria. I did not read the full story, but I can.
No. It's totally. I mean, I just thought somebody at the CDC. I read this incorrectly. I thought someone was doing this to try to promote other topics.
No, they ranked their top 5 stories. I guess it says most viewed stories in 2020 from the Center for Global Health. And the number 1 was the spread of Anopheles stephensi and the fight against the world's deadliest animal, which spreads malaria. Number 2 was about HIV in Africa. And then number 3 was the CDC's global response to COVID-19. And because I don't think it's number 1 because everybody knows what happened to the CDC this year. They got Trumpified.
Yeah, this seems a little fishy to me. This does not seem like the most viewed topics.
If I was a physician at the CDC, I would quit.
Now, why do people go to the CDC and work the government? Is it?
Well, I think because I had a friend who was going into infectious disease as a subspecialty. So they study, worldwide infectious disease. That's why they're so involved with COVID. And things like that. Center for Disease Control. It's all about spread of disease. So people who want to do that kind of work, humanitarian work across the world, stuff like that. I am obviously not an expert.
Yeah,
They give a lot of recommendations about travel, like what you should get immunized for.
Yeah, I didn't understand this story, and the CDC's definitely taken a bad.
Well, the CDC and the FDA, they have had the rug pulled out from under them a little bit. Because the way the president sees every branch of the executive is to do his bidding, and these.
How do you make it better? How do we make it right?
I think that the next administration will try to reinstill some confidence in these institutions and bring back some of the people that were probably driven out. I think the FDA definitely needs some reworking to start with.
But don't you think the FDA is more driven by lobbyists?
Yeah. And I think that there's big problems with the way certain things get approved, like medical devices get their ridiculous ways that things get approved. And I think so maybe this will shed some light on some of the things that don't work that well and, get things a little bit renovated. Ouch.
Let's see what you got next, Doctor.
Okay. The border between France and England was abruptly shut down. And so across the English Channel, there is a train that runs under between France and England. And a lot of traffic was going across with goods because of the upcoming Brexit situation. So they were trying to get goods out in case of a no-deal Brexit. And then with the new strain of COVID outbreak, they shut the border all of a sudden. And so tons of truck drivers from all across Europe were trapped in England with no food, no toilets, nowhere to stay, and chaos ensued.
Oh, wow.
And with no plan.
Amazing.
Yeah,
And I've crossed that. I've taken that train, and
look at this. Trucks just parked everywhere.
Yeah, I would be. The thought of being stuck there is nightmare situation.
What's the upcoming Brexit situation?
Look at this.
Oh my God.
Britain is out of the EU January 1st, and if they didn't have a deal, there was going to be a lot of trade problems. But supposedly today, Boris Johnson reached a deal. So they got to just push it through all the 30 parliaments in the next few days to make sure that it's okay. But I lose my EU access on January 1st. Bad tier.
Well, now were you thinking about taking a summer job truck driving?
It was nice to know I had the option to work anywhere in the EU, but
well, I guess that really has nothing to do with the story.
No, I mean, it has partial.
I mean,
personal touch.
Okay. How...
I'm going to put my sweater back on.
How this story makes me think of a few things. First off, how underprepared every democratic country is to actually govern. How underprepared, like, the government is to actually govern. And
well, I think to do anything on the fly.
Sure. And then you see, like, China, you know, who I guess things are booming back in China again. From what do you know of more outbreaks? How are they?
I mean, they may not be telling you of any. They may just be like under the rug. I don't know.
Might be pulling a
you
CDC
know, like
over
they
there,
control the media over there, so you know, you know what they want you to know.
Well, it seems like a pain.
I think you're buying into it.
Well, the only way.
I think you might be wrong, actually.
I know from companies that operate in China that their businesses are now starting to see some turnaround. So that's what I'm basing that on, booming. Well, I do know this, that if I were one of those truckers stuck on that truck out there, I would flip my shit. I wouldn't be able to handle it.
I don't know if you would be able to handle truck driving.
Well, I thought a few times it would be nice to be on the open road. I couldn't. The big cities. The big cities are what get me.
Dude, the worst part of truck driving is traffic. Like, it's great if it's
the worst
open
part
road.
of driving.
And
is traffic.
yeah, and you can't go that fast in a big truck. You're slowed down by all that weight.
I drove a giant U-Haul across country, and I had a wonderful time. I stopped almost everywhere.
Yeah, well, I don't think a truck driver has the leisure to stop almost everywhere.
Yeah, there was little against the schedule. I wasn't against the clock in any way.
Yeah.
And I feel like that can really change the route you take.
The horn is fun, though. The
That's good.
That was a very good horn impression.
Yeah.
God, that was.
He's a doctor of horn impressions.
Finally, we know what I am.
Now we know what it is.
This show is self-discovery, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dr. Abby.
Yes.
Are things still shut down in France? Like, are they still shut?
I think they came out of a partial lockdown, but I am not up to date on every country. I can look.
And when do you think...
I think they say they need a new one.
And when do you think the...
Bullshit's going to finish.
The vaccine's really going to matter?
I wish I knew.
So you've already had your first shot of your vaccine.
2 days.
Right?
2 days.
In 2 days.
In 2 days, I get
okay.
my first shot.
Wow, so that's their Christmas present to you.
Yeah. Well, so I've been seeing on the news everybody saying we're not hitting our targets for vaccinating healthcare workers in time. And sure, there is some skepticism, but you know, with the guidance that I get from my employer, like, you need to be mindful about how you time things. Like, they don't want everyone getting them all at the same time, and then everybody has a fever on the same day, and then there's nobody to work. They want you to do it when you're before a day off. And for those of us who work a lot continuously, you know, you just can't run out and get it right away. Wow. And you need to think about the timing of your second dose, which, if you're going to be per protocol, has to be exactly 21 days after you get the first dose. So you need to think about where you're going to be 21 days from that day. So it's not so simple as, oh, it's available, go get it right now, when you work, and it matters if you have a fever.
Wow. All right. Well,
I don't understand this 2 doses bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think you don't know that much about human immunology, so.
Yeah, well,
I didn't expect to get completely shut down. Right?
Yeah, what does it mean, though?
I mean, so the first dose will prime the immune system the first time, and then the second dose will boost it up again. And so I think that, I don't know the exact study design for these vaccines, like how they made them and why they made them 2 doses. But I know that the second dose really gets you more activated because that's when a lot of people get more reactions is on the second dose.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think that there's a reason why they did it that way. And I think it builds up the immunity better than with a single dose.
They are both 2 doses?
Yeah. The Moderna and the Pfizer are both 2 doses. I think the Moderna one is 4 weeks later, and then the Pfizer one I know is 21 days. You get the second.
Then there's
dose.
a Johnson & Johnson one that next week. Really?
Well, the Johnson & Johnson one is in trials, and the AstraZeneca Oxford one is not quite as effective, but I think is scheduled to get approved.
Oh, you think it will?
I think it will. I think it's good enough.
Wow. Well, this is our real hard-hitting section. This is our real. This is why we have Dr. Abby in studio. What do you got next, Doctor?
Okay, well, speaking of COVID news, a passenger on a United flight from Orlando, I want to say, to Los Angeles, died of COVID mid-flight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
So
was hilarious as it's United. You know what I mean?
United, the things I read about United are never good. It's like puppy dying in the overhead bin, passenger dying in the aisle.
Yep.
Like, no one's surviving a United flight these days. So the passenger supposedly was having a hard time breathing from the beginning of the flight, but 2 hours into the flight, he stopped breathing. Crew members called for any medical professionals on board, and they tried to do CPR for, I think, 45 minutes, which is a long time.
And they heard breaking ribs, right?
I mean, if you're doing good CPR, you're breaking some bones.
Right, yeah.
That's just the way it is. They said he was blue by the time they made a stop in New Orleans. EMTs came on. The wife had admitted that he had tested positive for COVID before boarding the flight. So,
see, I
and they do not check
I was scrolling.
not good decision making.
This girl's Twitter. This was the girl that said the guy behind her died on the United flight.
And I would just like to point out how bad United is at following COVID protocol. And I will not say who, but somebody was on a United flight, and
Hazel the dog.
Hazel was on a United flight, and every single seat on the entire plane was taken. So
It's crazy.
they do not care.
It's crazy. Like, it doesn't even matter. This girl retweets more than Donald Trump. It's so unbelievable. Like, I'm trying to go back. See, the people are flying to know, like.
What else should she talk about?
Yeah, I mean, she just retweets a lot of stuff, and like nothing interesting. And she hasn't really brought up COVID, so I guess she didn't really get it from him. So, look, I don't understand how people can fly and go through the airports and that just not be the whole super spreader event. I don't know how.
I mean, I do think that travel in this country is a super spreader. I think that's probably why LA is exploding right now, because we just have so much unrestricted movement in and out of between states, between regions, and then it's just the more populated areas just start to spiral out of control. I wouldn't be surprised if we started having within the United States travel restrictions once Biden comes to office. Like, we got to tamp this down.
I'm curious, why are airlines able to run at full capacity while restaurants are not even able to have people outdoors?
Because airlines are regulated by the feds, and the feds are run by Trump, who doesn't give a shit. And in LA, you have Democratic people who are trying their best to help poor people from getting it, but everything else that is just free moving. The thing is, maybe if LA was kept in isolation, the outdoor dining ban would make a difference. But with everything else running around, I think it just doesn't make a difference because there's just so much movement otherwise.
We need the feds to take over these restaurants.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right answer.
I don't know how anything is better before August.
I agree with you. I don't know how. I mean, I think
August is like in my mind. It's when I could actually see a turnaround, like before next winter.
I mean, I'm a little optimistic that we're
That's a long
actually
time.
getting some extra doses of the Pfizer vaccine, that the numbers of people willing to take them in polling are rising.
So question, people say that like, okay, if you get COVID and then you develop the antibodies, there's still a chance you could get COVID again.
So I think because you don't know what piece of the virus you make those antibodies to, and your natural immunity will fade a little bit. The vaccines are designed so the antibodies you make are specifically for the protein that gets entry into your cells. So if they block it, that specific protein, right? It's like the key on the virus to your human cell. If you block the key, can't get in. And so it's much more specific to long-lasting immunity, or I guess more robust immunity. They don't know how long it's going to last, so time will tell. If you need to get a booster in a year, get a booster in a year. We just got to keep churning out vaccine. But I think the more people we have in the population who don't get as sick, who don't get as much viral load, who can't really necessarily pass it on. Maybe you can pass it on, but if you don't get as sick, you probably aren't as contagious.
Now, that's interesting. Now, are countries like the Philippines ravaged right now?
Why the Philippines?
Because I just know that people are like on top of each other, like India.
Yeah,
like
India's hit pretty bad, I think.
I just know where people live on top, like South America.
Yeah, I think a lot of these places are hit pretty bad.
And for the time for them to get a virus
vaccine
could be years.
Yeah, I mean it's
right.
Yeah, it's a nightmare situation.
Wow, we got one more. We got one more in this COVID world.
Oh, so a pre-medical student,
like this is an unbelievable.
Who is a student in Georgia, was at Mercer University. Went to the Cayman Islands in November to visit her boyfriend, where you are supposed to undergo a 2-week quarantine mandated by the government. And she broke quarantine when her boyfriend picked her up to go to his jet skiing competition. And she was sentenced to 4 months in jail for breaking quarantine.
Crazy, right?
And so the judge cited that she had intentional violation of safety measures that were born of selfishness and arrogance, because she had to wear a tracker that would track her movements and make sure that she didn't go anywhere. And she asked the health department the day before the event to loosen it because it was too tight. And then she took it off.
Wow, so this is
kind of smart.
This is what she looks like.
She's hot.
No, I mean,
yeah, she's
like
not hot enough to get away with it. But
no, but she did. So update, she had her sentence reduced to 2 months.
But she's got to be in jail.
In the Cayman Islands. I wonder what jail in the Cayman Islands looks like.
Oh my God, just on a beach. Like, okay, you can stay on this section of beach right here.
Okay, like, now I feel, I obviously wasn't in the courtroom, but I feel like there had to be something that she did to piss the judge or something off. For like, I just look,
so like she was like a mini Karen.
Look at her face.
Yes.
Like there's some. Why is this not scrolling? Okay, come on.
Yeah, no, she probably thinks she's hot. She's
Okay,
like,
right.
I don't give a
Right
fuck.
here,
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna be a doctor.
something was said to the judge at some point right? I'm obviously not something like I didn't.
Why are you being such an old, gross man?
Yeah, like something was said.
That's dumb.
Right? Like where she initially was like, set him off, and he's like, there's no coming back.
You going to jail.
Yeah, because I know enough about the legal system to know that.
I mean, do you know much about the Cayman legal system?
Well, I know legal system enough to know that certain people, when they open their mouth, it's done. Like, it's done the minute you open your mouth. Like, I know that.
Yeah.
And if she said she did something, he's like, I'm gonna make an example. I'm gonna give you to the max of what I'm allowed to give you.
Sometimes I think that people who become judges are like the kind of people that just need power, you know, like, I'm going to let them know who I am, how big my dick is.
So small dick energy.
It's small dick. I think judges have small dicks.
Small dick energy. The same people revving their cars on Hollywood Boulevard.
All judges have, Tundra trucks and stuff like that.
No, well, I think most judges are at an age where they, and for good reason, they are kind of stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she said something
Lippy.
Yeah, that would be considered, when a parent hears a child say something that is like, oh, you just haven't lived it. You're just so dumb because you're so young. I almost have to teach you because I am doing I'm doing the world. I'm doing what your parents didn't do.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
It sounds like you want to be a judge.
Yeah, honestly, that girl
looks constantly judging.
That girl looked dumb to me, dude. So I'm glad she got fucking whipped.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not going to look good on her med school applications. I tell you that much.
No, she might have to go to the University of Puerto Rico
if she can get in.
No, they take. I know people who went there with much worse things on their record, much worse convictions than breaking quarantine. Please, this guy from
Small potatoes.
This guy from North Carolina is going to apply there while in jail. All right, doctor, what you got?
Okay, so Cyberpunk 2077, the big Keanu Reeves game, launched last week to major catastrophe. So this game was very hyped, and it was so filled with bugs that it was unplayable. The PlayStation Store actually pulled it last Thursday. They put it back with I think there's been 6 updates in a week. Microsoft offered refunds, and now there is a class action suit against the game from investors saying that it was overhyped. And then I read another article that was so damning that it's like, besides the bugginess, it just sucks.
Now, can you tell me how much Keanu Reeves got paid? Can you find that anywhere?
I can look.
Yeah, I would love to know if they disclose.
I feel bad for him. I bet he put heart into his,
We'll see.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault.
Doing video games isn't easy. It's not easy at all, but when the game sucks, when it actually sucks so bad that they offer refunds and pull it, I've never seen that in a game before.
Well, they're pulling it because of the bugs, not because it's so bad, right?
Yeah,
It's the bugs.
Well,
yeah.
and there's so many complaints, and that's the thing. If the patches, there's so many bugs, but the game must be unplayable.
It was unplayable.
Yeah.
It's not it obviously doesn't work.
Well, so I just want to mention, I used to be a computer scientist for 10 years, and they make us hustle to get the shit out. You know what I mean? And it's never is it ready? It's it's June 6th, fucking hit the button. And
really?
yeah, it's like, and
Is it it's June 6th?
it's June.
Give me what you got.
yeah. And we're just like, this is what we got. And there are always bugs that are like prominent afterwards, and it's you're always competing with other companies to get your shit out first.
But do you know when you're doing the programming the major bugs? Or is it sometimes when you press the go button, things just come up that you're like, oh my God.
Well, that's what. So when you're programming with a team of 6 or 10 people, you find only a certain amount of stuff. But then you hit the go button, and now 300,000 people are using your thing. You get a whole bunch of new bugs
That you never could have imagined because someone's opening one thing at another time when you would never expected.
Yeah, the amount of testing that is happening when like 300,000 people are playing something is like stuff that you could never fathom, just figuring out on your own. So you're supposed to release it to like a smaller group of people. That's what beta testing is.
Yeah.
But they obviously probably didn't beta test because they didn't have time. It's just boom, time to go.
Yeah, it's like Christmas is coming.
Yeah, exactly. Christmas is coming. We need this shit.
Get that shit out.
Yeah, get it.
And then it's
the
like,
Xbox is out now.
Yeah.
The new PlayStation is out.
Let it out.
And video game programming is extra intense. So I was just an engineer in the like Yahoo and that kind of like mail world and stuff like that. But video game programming is the week of release. These kids are sleeping on the floor of their cubicle every single night until release date, until you hit that go.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the problems that are coming up are ones that they never even like, because some of them, because I feel like some of the programmers know, they're like, it's just not ready. It's just not ready.
They know. They're like, but we can't say anything.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that feeling of knowing that you're putting this product out and problems are going to happen that like you can't even foresee, like, and ones that could just screw the whole structure of the game up so bad that they have to pull it from the App Store and offer refunds, and now that people are getting sued. Because do you know if they ever do re-release it?
No, they've already re-released.
Oh, so they've
they pulled it for a day, and they made like patch on patch on patch, and it's still buggy, I think.
Wow.
They're like, fuck, when Keanu Reeves jumps over this canyon, his legs disappear. It's like, what the fuck?
What? And they don't come back? What do you mean they don't come back?
We tested that.
Yeah, they're supposed to have legs there. Where this code doesn't say anything about legs. Oh, this is wonderful. What else you got, Doc? Is this our last one?
No, we have 3 more.
Wait, we do?
We have 3 more.
Okay.
A possible flying man with a jetpack.
Oh, this is great.
Was spotted near Palos Verdes
today. This is real. And this can be our last one. 3 more? Do we have?
Well, we have just there's short.
Okay. Here, let's pull this up. I really like, this is something that's been happening around, like, okay, let's get this Sprouts Market commercial. Okay, here we go. Okay, look, this I'm gonna
maximize that shit.
Here we go. Now look, this guy is really up. Look at him. This is not him. No, but see. Yeah, I gotta get. This is the actual post.
So you want a jetpack?
Does he exist?
Here is the post from the. Yeah.
Jetpack man.
Look at him right there. Like, that's high. That guy is up there. Like, that is not low. Like, look.
Hell yeah.
That's ballsy. 3,000 feet in the air in a jetpack?
Damn.
You couldn't get me 300 feet off there.
Like, that's
Especially if it's in beta testing.
that's terrifying. Now, I've seen the ones on the water that just use the water, and I feel like that's too much. My wrists, I do not, nothing about that I find enjoyable.
Well, I feel like that guy is ready to die. You know what I mean? Like he does not care if he lives or dies.
But I don't know. Like if you have a jetpack like that, you plan to use it. Nobody's buying one of those jetpacks to just put in the living room. So I feel like once you get past once you break the mold a little bit, and once you get over your fear, you're just pushing it to the limit.
He is pushing it.
And
once you get to 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet doesn't mean anything, and then 3,000 feet doesn't mean anything.
no,
okay?
that like he's got to get to the point where because you need fuel to land. You can't just go. You need fuel to land.
The thought of all of it is giving me anxiety.
And the oxygen, how thin it is.
I don't like to think about these things.
Yeah.
At the height, because you don't know where he's starting at what point in sea level. Like he's starting, like
Dude, it's all adrenaline at that point. You're just like, yeah.
and it's cold up there. 3,000 feet. It's cold.
Yeah, that's probably very
Bring a
cold.
sweater. It might be chilly up there,
and
you
some
know?
extra fuel, maybe a sandwich.
Yeah, like but the thing is, they keep seeing him around LAX, Jetpack Man, and there's a rumor that one got as close as 300 feet or so to the plane. And look, if you get caught up in the jet wash of the plane as the guy, you're dead, because you understand that jet wash behind the plane is just moving air so fast, and there's no way the jetpack is going to stay up. Like there's no way it's going to be able to move enough air for you to recover.
Jetpack travel is still the safest form of travel right now, though, if you want to avoid COVID.
I guess COVID-wise, that is probably true.
That's actually the best point, Richard.
That's why we pay him the big bucks.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
do you understand if you have to travel this holiday season?
Consider jetpack.
That might actually be the only way you can do it and not need to get a COVID test right after.
Yeah, that guy was just going to see his family.
Yeah, what do you mean? He's just going by Gavin Newsom's rule. If it weren't for Gavin Newsom, I wouldn't be in this jetpack. What do you got, doctor?
Okay, I think we can end on this heartwarming quickie.
Oh, this one, yes. This is
A homeless man in Brazil got a makeover at a hair salon, and the photos of him went viral that his long estranged sister found him after 10 years.
Oh.
And what I find fascinating is they tried to get him to come home with them, and he was like, nah, man, I live in the streets.
okay.
I like to be free.
Okay, now look at the photos of this. Okay,
He looks great.
right there, nice lighting. Here's more accurate lighting, more accurate posture. Okay, so basically, I first saw this on Oprah when I was very young, and it affected me.
Oh, you mean makeovers?
Well, take a homeless guy,
okay, and give him a makeover.
yeah, and put him in Jean-Claude's chair, and see what magic he can do. Right? Like this is a story that comes around every year or two. Okay. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, they try to make the guy look like the most interesting man in the world. like they did here.
Yeah.
But once you get him talking, you realize he's the homeless guy. He's gonna end up with this same haircut.
Yes, he is.
In 1 year.
I don't even think necessarily that long.
Like, so that's why I'm saying, like, I have seen this. I've seen this. I have lived this experience at least 3 or 4 times because I know from that time I saw Maury Povich do it. I saw Jerry.
Did Ricky Lake do it?
Jerry.
Probably.
I saw Jerry Springer do it.
I don't think Jerry was doing that kind of heartwarming stuff.
No, well,
Jerry was all trash.
No, it's
all
not
the time.
heartwarming. Guy gets makeover, then guy gets introduced to the woman that he left who drove him to homelessness.
Okay, that's the Jerry take on it.
That now has a kid that's probably yours. That
Now
we're
they
gonna
fight about it.
Then we're going to test your hair that you left.
Barefoot.
So I've seen this story. It's done, but look, it is tan. And
Well,
it's
when you're outside all the time, I can vouch for how tan homeless people are. Very tan.
Beautiful. It doesn't. It
Especially
looks
in Santa
natural, you
Monica.
know.
Not that spray.
Not
So
that
that's why,
orangey shit.
this this was a Christmas episode. This was
Yes, it
the most
was.
Christmas episode I could provide. But this guy, okay, I don't even know how to say his name. Could you say
Joao.
Joao?
Yeah.
The rest, please.
Joao. There's a character on. Well, I guess.
Coed, could you do the rest?
Oh, I only know the first name. Like
Yeah,
that is a Portuguese name. that
Okay,
I've heard
Joao.
before. Joao. No, I can't.
Yeah, he wants to be homeless though.
Yeah, he does. That's why he said, "I want I am a man of the streets."
Now, I would like to know what the homeless situation is like where he lives, though, too.
Warm.
Might be very comfortable. Might be cozy.
Well, I think that's why LA has a big homeless problem.
His family might
Warm.
bitch a lot, too. We have no idea what his sister's like after she gets a cocktail or two in her.
She's laughing pretty hard in those photos.
Yeah, because she made Maury.
Finish your thought.
She made Maury. I don't know what. I was trying to think. I was going to say Joao's name, but I couldn't remember off the top.
Joao.
So I had to actually look. Her and Joao made Maury. Of course, she's laughing. She probably got $35,000 to tell this on some local,
Brazilian
some local
Maury.
Brazilian,
Maury.
Portuguese, Maury, whatever it is. The Portuguese.
Maori.
Yeah, Maori. So when you say finish your thought, there's a lot going on.
I was trying
in
to
this thought.
understand.
There's a whole lot that I didn't really know how
still
to
processing.
express.
But this whole thing of like her finding him after he is like was discovered on TV, like they probably had some falling out, you know. And then now that he's on TV, she's like, "Oh my God, Joao, remember? I'm so happy to have found you," you know. Like, I think they have a dark history.
He got lost and they couldn't find him. I think
He
that's
got
all it
lost?
was. Yeah, he was living in the streets. He picks a new spot, you know.
Wait, but
Don't know where he is.
But she's not homeless, right?
Yeah,
she's well
she's
to
not.
do. Right, so they came from the same family.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to make assumptions. But some people who end up on the street have, you know, certain things like mental illness, and they are erratic, and it's hard to keep track of them. They keep in touch, and then if you can't find them, you can't find them.
Yeah, I guess we don't know what their history is, you know, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's something going on here because people don't just magically disappear. You
Well,
know?
I
know
will
where my
try
siblings are.
to do some further investigating and report back for our New Year's episode.
I don't think I'm going to post it because it's already 10 o'clock till Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, so Merry Christmas. Like, I feel like that we are much later than we normally ever are. And this, you know, this has been quite a holiday season. It really has. I am thankful that I am able to do this, and I hope we brought some laughs today, Sarvate. You have done it again. Dr. Abby, what more can I say? Like, what more haven't I said this year about I am thrilled that you grace us with your intellect and reason, along with some of your crazy theories. I think this is
Unfounded.
yes, some of your unfounded. Yeah.
Well, this is the spin zone, so.
Yes, this is the spin zone. I guess, yeah, we could call this KTLA 5 News at Night. I guess that's
stealing titles.
I guess that's fresh, right? Or
Definitely not taken.
we could call this Dallas Rains with the weather, right? You
Later
guys-
tonight.
That's catchy.
later tonight. I'd have to say this holiday season, it may not be one that we asked for, but it will be memorable, and we will get through it. Just stay healthy, stay safe. Keep watching the Brian Moreno Show.
Wear your mask.
Tell your friends about the Brian Moreno Show, and don't forget, most of the people that I know have already subscribed. But if you haven't, do so. Have a wonderful night and Merry Christmas.